Saquon Barkley is an incredible athlete. Here's why, from a physiological standpoint, why he's as good and athletic as he is. Now, I'm going to go over 5 factors that contribute to this. They are genetics, physical strength, explosiveness and power, speed and acceleration, and finally agility. With genetics being the first one. It is the foundation for everything that he does. Saquon Barkley was literally born to be as athletic as he is, to be as good as he is. The saying is that if you want to be an elite level athlete, pick your parents. And this is actually a really accurate and true statement. Your genetics will determine almost everything from how strong you're going to be to how good your CNS is going to be and everything else, to basically how athletic you are. It is that foundation, it's the building block. Now, genetics is what gives Barkley the physical strength that he has, and he's a very strong individual. If you go back to videos from him when he was in college, you can see him here squatting 495 for reps, or this one where he's cleaning 405. Now, is his form in those the best in the world? No, truth be told, that form he has with the clean isn't really all that great, but it just proves how strong he really is, because even though he doesn't have the best technique in the world, he's still able to actually clean and get it up there, which, well, most people aren't able to do, and most athletes, especially running backs, aren't able to do. He's an extremely strong individual. When he was at the combine last year, he benched 225 for 29 reps. Again, you're not going to find too many running backs, or too many NFL players for that matter, who are able to really do that. He's just an unbelievably strong individual. And all this strength, both upper and lower body strength, especially his lower body, his legs are like tree trunks, for God's sakes. It all is what allows him to do certain things like this, or this, or this. Now, going into the next factor, the explosiveness and power that ties in with physical strength and genetics, of course. But if we went back to that video where he's cleaning 405, again, the technique isn't the best in the world, but it also shows just how explosive and how powerful he is as well, in addition to the strength that he had there. There's also a video of him cleaning 370, almost like it was nothing. Again, he's very explosive in addition to the physical strength. When he was at the combine again last year, he did a vertical jump of 41 inches. Again, he weighs 233 pounds, or he did during the combine when he did that jump. You have to have enormous amounts of explosiveness and lower body physical strength, of course, to be able to jump a 41 vertical. He clearly has it. So all this physical strength he has, the explosiveness that he has, it's what contributes to him to, again, do things like this, and this, and this. Explosiveness is developed not only through his exercises, through his workouts in the weight room, but it ties in with the genetics. He just has that athletic ability to explode as fast as he can, or as fast as he does. So now we go into the fourth factor, which is speed and acceleration. Now, Barkley is very, very fast. When he was at the combine last year, in the 40-yard dash, he ran a 4.41 seconds. Now, it wasn't the fastest at the combine. It's not as fast as, say, Usain Bolt, but for somebody who weighs 233 pounds, that's an incredibly good time. His technique, his running technique, mainly his running mechanics, aren't the best in the world. There's some things he can improve with. For example, he can have his elbows bent more at a 90 degree throughout while he runs, a little bit better. But there's other things that he does actually quite well. For example, during the acceleration phase, he is leaning forward properly, and during the speed phase, he does stand upright quite well. So he is doing those things fairly well. What also contributes to him running as fast as he does, mainly at the beginning, especially at that acceleration phase, is tied in with his physical strength and explosiveness. When he starts off the line there, he uses those two factors to his advantage to explode forward and accelerate as fast as he does. Now, once he reaches the speed phase there, speed is achieved mainly in two ways. The first way is generating an enormous amount of force, as much force as possible, when you strike the ground with your foot. The second way is to minimize contact time that your foot makes with the ground. The reason is that the lower that contact time is, the higher frequency of your strides, and therefore you'll run a bit faster. Now, Barkley does those two things actually quite well. Again, he uses his physical strength to make the force with the ground, contact with the ground, as enormous and as high as possible, and he's quite good at minimizing that contact time with the ground as well. So he's able to achieve a very high amount of speed. A good example of that is when he was playing against the Redskins last season, and on this play here, he hit 21.91 miles per hour, which was the fastest rushing touchdown of that entire season by any player. Now, going into his acceleration, again, he has the enormous amounts of physical strength and explosiveness, so that helps him contribute to the acceleration that he has. So good examples of this is when he's able to do this, or when he did this. Again, is Barkley going to be as fast as Usain Bolt? No. But he's still incredibly fast, especially for someone who weighs as much as he does. And most people just aren't able to catch him or be as fast as he is in the NFL. Now, getting into the fifth factor, we have his agility. All those four previous factors I mentioned, they all kind of stack and tie on with one another, and what ultimately leads to the agility that he has. Now, agility is an athlete's ability to react to a random stimulus. Random being the key word here. It's nothing predetermined. So, for example, if you see this video here, where the guy's doing a bunch of cone drills, everything's predetermined, that is not agility. That's not training or creating agility, or footwork for that matter. Does it look cool? Sure, but it won't translate to anything over on the field because everything's predetermined. A much better example would be like this one from Joe DeFranco, a strength and conditioning coach, where the drill is not predetermined. The athlete here has to react to a random stimulus during the drill. So he'll able to actually train his agility much better because it's stimulating what agility actually is and how gameplay actually is. Now, like I mentioned, the four previous factors is what's contributing to his agility. So you have his strength and explosiveness that he has, which helps contribute to him planting his foot into the ground as hard as he can to help him change direction as fast as he does. You have his acceleration ability, which helps him to gain a few extra yards when it's really needed. And you have his speed, which allows him to outrun defenders almost all the time. He's also able to break tackles with almost extreme ease because of those four factors previously mentioned. So you add all of this together and you end up getting this. All right guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. My name is Joe, this is Lifting with Style. If you want me to do other videos like these, just let me know down below if there's any other specific players or topics you want me to cover. Again, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell down there. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time.